What are the pros and cons of becoming a wholesaler in real estate? Guys, this is Rick Ginn, and I am going to run through the pros and the cons of being a wholesaler, and I'm going to let you make the decision which side you resonate the most on. But before I get into it, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive everything you want to know about wholesaling. So let's talk about it. You want to become a wholesaler, and you're probably doing your due diligence, and you probably come to a pros and cons list, and you're probably drawing a blank. Well, I'm perfect for this because I got 20 years plus experience in this, and I struggled which list I would start with. So I figured I'd just start with the cons, and then we'll work our way backwards, and then we'll go through the pros, and you can make a decision for yourself if wholesaling is right for you. Starting with con number one, I'm going to tell you wholesaling, it is a job. It means if you don't put in the work, you do not get paid, okay? As attractive as wholesaling is, it's still a job, and you have to understand that if you don't go to work, if you take a vacation, if you take time off, the act of wholesaling is finding deeply discounted properties and selling them to cash or rich landlords. And if you don't do it, there's no income activity from it. So it's not a passive type of income, it's an actively work. I would describe a wholesaler as a self-employed individual, and it's important you know this going into it. It's really, really important to know that, okay? Number two, this is often overlooked in this business. It can get lonely, meaning you are operating by yourself for the most part when you start out. You don't have a lot of people to collaborate with, and 9 times out of 10, you don't even know if what you're doing, if it's right. And for that thing, it seems like you're out on an island. So if you came from a corporate structure or ever worked for a large company, you have an entire staff that surrounds you, supports you, and helps you, guide you, gives you reviews. How many wholesalers give a review of what they do in a year? Very few do. So I'm here to tell you, being a wholesaler can be lonely. Nobody talks about it, but the reality is a lot of time, other than working with your buyers and sellers, you are working all by yourself. And it's important you know that going into wholesaling, it's important. Okay? So that leads me to the next one. You are a solopreneur when you start out doing this, meaning you are all by yourself. So unless you have a partner or somebody working with you, a lot of you are just completely on your own. And I'm be honest with you, that scared the heck out of me when I started. And if it scares you, just be aware of it. It's not something to push you away from wholesaling, but you truly are going to be out there on your own in every aspect, from deal finding to acquisitions to dispositions to marketing, everything. It is all on you. And that is the beauty of this business. It also is the downfall of the business, because sometimes you don't know if you're doing something just right, and it's not as easy to reach out to people to find out if you're going in the right direction, because so many wholesalers are kind of out for themselves, and that alone makes you on an island by yourself. Now, there are tools to have you go out there and help you with everything, but I'm just telling you, knowing you're going to be on your own and you're going to have to depend on yourself a lot more than you have in the past is actually one of the cons, but in the long term, it will make you a wildly successful wholesaler. So don't let that scare you away. Okay. The next one is you're going to have capital issues. What do I mean by that? For the most part, most of the deals you do, you can put it under contract, sell your contract, sell it to a cash buyer. And honestly, it requires very little of your own money. What people don't tell you about wholesaling is you still have to put down earnest money deposits. The average anywhere from $100 to $1,000 per deal. A lot of times you have to pay for marketing costs. You get subscriptions through services, which greatly helps you out. And it's a wonderful idea as opposed to hiring an employee. But all this stuff adds up and costs money. And then every now and then you'll get a really good deal, but it's going to require you to fund it. Don't worry, you don't have to fund it with your own money, but you got to go out and make connections. In the beginning, you don't have all these connections. You don't have the money, and capital seems a little bit overwhelming in the beginning till you get through your first few months. But I'm here to tell you, if you can take the journey of wholesaling 6 months into it, capital is usually not an issue at all. And for the most part, you're assigning your deals, so it's not a requirement, but you will have some earnest money deposit. You do have some basic subscription software services that we recommend you use to make your life a lot easier. and you'll have all sorts of small costs from gas money to, putting out flyers or putting out if you want to do a website or something like that. So we're used to relying on other people's capital when we work for companies. When we work for ourselves, we have to rely on our own capital. If you do this business right, you can grow your connections and you don't have to use your money, but it seems overwhelming in the first 6 months, and it's just important that you absolutely know it. So the next one is, I'm here to tell you, there's no regular paychecks in wholesaling. It's the truth. Okay. I came from a corporate world where I got paid twice a month. No matter what, I got paid. Even on commission structure, I got paid. And when you go to wholesaling, there is no such thing as a paycheck every week or 2 weeks. Your paycheck is when you find motivated sellers, you put it under contract, and you sell them to cash buyers. Once you do that, you get a paycheck. So your paycheck is basically all your HUD statements. These are the statements that come from the title companies when you close on a property. That is your paycheck. In the beginning, you're not going to be nearly as proficient as when you got a paycheck twice a month. And honestly, you might go 2 or 3 months without a paycheck. You have to prepare yourself for it. And this reason alone will take a lot of wholesalers out because they didn't understand it's going to take grit, it's going to take time, and it's going to take perseverance to get you to that first paycheck. And then each one going forward gets a little bit easier till you more than replace your paycheck. And now you're getting huge batches of money coming through wholesaling. But guys, it takes time and you have to know that. Now, my next con, I'm here to tell you, as you grow as a wholesaler, you might think, oh, well, I earned $20,000 this month. I can easily do it and do $40,000 next month. Then I'll do $80,000. Then I'll do $160,000. I'm here to tell you, it does not work that way. I have tried it. God knows I've tried it every which way. As you grow in this business, you have to figure out how to scale. But here's the problem is scaling is very complex. It's hard and it's challenging. And in wholesaling, there's only so much you can scale the business because if you're only looking for between 1% and 3% of the real estate transactions, you mathematically run out of deals to work on. Now, I know what you're saying. Hey, Rick, I can do it virtual. You're right, but virtual is very challenging. And I'm here to tell you to grow a monster brand doing 10, 15, 20, $30 million a year strictly on wholesaling. You just don't see anyone doing it. Matter of fact, I've been in 20 years. I've yet to see it. I've seen big corporations try to mimic what we do. And the one thing I've noticed, every one of them fails. They just completely fail. Why do they fail? Because all real estate is localized. What works in my market, not necessarily always going to work in your market. And I could say that about everyone's market. You have over 3,500 counties, very different cultures, very different types of people. And that's what makes America great. But from a wholesaler, it makes it challenging to scale. Now, you have to decide what is acceptable for an income level for you and your family and basically your dreams. And you can easily achieve that in wholesaling. When I talk about scaling, I'm talking about pushing it $10 to $20 million, $50 million in a year. It's not going to happen in wholesaling. I'm just here. And if you did it, you would have to commit so much capital and energy to it. I don't even know if it would be profitable. So know that going into it, a lot of people are going to come to you. Oh, we can scale. We can scale. The reality is if they haven't done it, meaning they're not doing like 15 million, why are you going to follow a program that is doomed to fail? I've yet to see anybody. Most people can scale a real estate anywhere up to 4 to 6 million. But that's where the wheels start to fall off the bus because you have to have so many employees. You have to have office. You have to have so many mechanics. You have to have GMs, sales managers that you're growing, but you're not making any more money. And then if you have one bad month, it's challenging. So guys, keep in mind scaling. If you think you're going to blow this business up to 50 million, you got to have a reality check. Make sure you go find someone and you make sure you look at their books and don't listen to what gross is. Gross doesn't mean anything. I've watched people do 30, $40 million in real estate and they lost money. Okay. It's about what the company nets, that individual nets. If you know this going in the wholesaling, then you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. I tried scaling for 4 to 5 years. There is a limit in every market as far as how far you can go. And I got in this so I could get freedom of time, so I could do what I want. I could go fishing. I could hang out with my family. I don't want to sit in an office 50, 60 hours a week babysitting 20 plus employees, which is the minimum it's going to take to get even over the 10 to $12 million mark. So understanding scaling is very limited. Very few people can do it. And I've watched huge corporations, they just don't make it work. You've got to know that going to wholesaling, because if you're going in thinking you're going to do 50 million on straight up wholesaling alone, you will not reach those numbers and you're going to disappoint yourself. So be aware of it. My last con before we get to the fun stuff is sorting through all the gurus trying to teach you how to wholesale. Okay. Me and Zach have eliminated that problem for you. I've watched since 2003, everybody under the sun try to sell some sort of wholesaling package. And there are more teachers, listen to me, there's more teachers, gurus and mentors than there are actual students. How do I know this? Because I'm buried in ads every day. The reality is, we talked about scaling earlier. You can scale coaching massively. And this is the secret of why all these coaches have come out. The truth just needs to be told. There's a reason I'm not in the coaching circle, because there's a reason our business has a 95% failure rate. It's because we are overselling the promise of how easy wholesaling is, and I don't want you to fall into that. And the second problem you guys make with gurus is you try to listen to way too many. Okay? It is an epic mistake. Find someone that resonates with you, that you trust, that you've built some rapport. Get to know them, watch a bunch of their videos, see what their track record is. Anyone who's done this business really from 2013, 14, and like they're successful now, everyone's been successful. So you have no idea what they're going to do during hard times and bad times. I know how to get through these markets. So me and Zach made it super simple. Go over to freewholesaling.com. We've made teaching you wholesaling 100% free. I have the deepest, most transparent course on the internet today. And I challenge every guru to take that commitment to help people so we can eradicate this 95% failure ratio and help people get past the obstacles of just simply get started in real estate by using this technique called wholesaling. So if you like what me and Zach teach you, then stick to it. Stick to one platform. If you use 3 or 4 different people, they're all going to have different opinions, and you're going to try so much, you're going to burn yourself out. So if it's me and Zach, great. If it's someone else, that's great. Just stick to one. It will make your life a heck of a lot easier, and you'll be able to tell if the system actually works. If you use too many, you can blame it on this guy's system or her system. For that reason, you want to find one person that you can follow. And the benefit of working with us, it's 100% free. So I don't make money off coaching, period. I want everyone to succeed. I want people to do great things in wholesaling. And the more people I can introduce to wholesaling, the better I have become at getting my message across. It's changed my life. I want it to change your life. So let's get to the fun part. Let's talk about the pros of wholesaling and why we all want to get it, and keep mind on the cons I've just gone over, because no one ever tells you about the downside of wholesaling. And I want you to have a transparent representation on both sides. So let's start out with number one. Okay. The one that we all subscribe to is unlimited income and opportunities. Wholesaling has it. Okay. Understanding that you can make it as big as you can physically muster. So most wholesalers can easily get up to $100,000, and at freewholesaling.com, we teach you how to get to your first $100,000. And then you can easily, with some time and effort, get to $1 million a year. And it's extremely profitable. That won't be your net, but I know so many people have hit $1 million. Obviously, I hit $1 million every year. It's just what I do. It's easy, and it wasn't easy when I started out. And I said, man, if I could ever make $1 million, like I would be happy. I'm like, okay, how can we make 2 million? How can we make 3 million? And so I use real estate, but wholesaling has helped me find so many other opportunities. So we talk about the unlimited income, but the opportunities, I've been able to buy other businesses. I've been able to invest in passive income channels. And without wholesaling, I would have never had those opportunities. Guys, the unlimited potential is probably the biggest reason why people get attracted to wholesaling. And it's important you know that. The second one is why wholesaling is so attractive. And I would say the second most important is you get to minimize your risk. Right? Wait a minute. I get to invest in real estate and minimize my risk. Wholesaling is the only technique, the only niche that you can do this, meaning you can put a property under contract with an inspection period. During that inspection period, go out and find a cash buyer, and then basically you collect the difference without actually ever buying the property or pulling little to no money out of your pocket. Guys, for this reason alone, wholesaling is absolutely amazing, and it's the reason why you see most people use wholesaling to get a quick start, a jump start on real estate investing. It's an amazing technique, and once you master it, the sky's the limit. You can buy everything at discounted rates. Mostly real estate, you can do your personal homes, you can do your businesses, everything. Once you figure out how to connect with motivated sellers, the rest actually gets easier as time goes by. Guys, don't overlook this. It's big when you minimize that risk. So, another reason why people love wholesaling is you are not paid by the hour, okay? So you stopped wasting your time when you do that. So when you stop wasting your time, then you're paid for your productivity. I promise you, as a wholesaler, your productivity goes through the roof. A lot of time, guys, you only have to put in 2-3 hour days, like even in the beginning. Once you get your stuff organized and you get systems set up in your processes, it's easy to become productive. You will force yourself to become productive, and for that reason is why I absolutely love wholesaling. It is awesome. The next one is kind of self-explanatory. A lot of you guys buying it is you get to be your own boss. So you get to say when you work, if you want to work early in the morning, if you work at late night. We all get the same 24 hours. So being your own boss, you get to choose when you talk to your customers, when you talk to your sellers, and how you run your business. And so if you got a big event come, you can put in more work before, you can put in more work after, but you can control your time. Some people goes, oh my God, that might be a con. I look at it as a plus because you're in control of your day. And when we feel like we're in control, we feel like we're going in a direction and we're growing. And for that reason is absolutely critical. Which leads me to my next one, which is personally probably one of my favorites, is your ability to control your time. What do I mean by that? Is if you are efficient in your business and you can work an hour or two a day on it, that leaves the rest of the day to do what? Spend time with your family, take trips. You can definitely travel as a wholesaler. Like I've proven that time and time again. I've gone out of the country multiple times. I've always been able to run my business. If you're looking to get freedom of your time, and honestly, freedom of your time might be more valuable or as valuable as unlimited income, this is the main reason why I started wholesaling, because I was working 70, 80 hours a week in my corporate job. I never had any time. And I said, one day I'm going to do something where I can control my time. Once I took my action, I got through the first 2 years. It's like I've been retired every day since then. I don't know the difference between Monday and Saturday. So once you get the business going and you get up and productive, you control your time. And I got to tell you, that's been probably the biggest blessing to me and my family. Obviously, my son, my wife, my daughter, my dad, my mom, everybody's benefited from it. And I want you to be able to give that gift back to your family. It's probably one of the biggest things. The last one I want to mention is when you get set up in wholesaling, you're going to learn about tax advantages you never understood before. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I've been paying taxes on this my entire life. Here's how taxes works, guys. Whoever reads the rules and follows the program the United States government's put into place is going to be rewarded the most. Did you know that the person that has an individual job that takes no deductions or anything like that pays the most in taxes? It's a penalty. So by becoming a wholesaler, you don't need to set up a business in the beginning. Don't worry about that. But as you move forward, set up an LLC or a corp, you get advantages of being able to deduct things like the gas in your car for the business you use. You can buy a car through your business because it's a business expense. You can take business vacations. You have to document it. You have to set up a like a conference when you do it. And why not? Take your employees, take your family, and reward them. Why is this so huge? Because you are not paying with this with after-tax dollars. So you basically wind up getting between a 20 and 35% savings on this. Guys, imagine if you got a 30 to 40% pay raise just alone by becoming a wholesaler. If you read the tax code, you work with a good CPA, a good bookkeeper, this is an absolute no-brainer. Nobody ever talks about it, but you've got to get off being a W-2 employee. And if you can set up an LLC or a corporation, Your deductions, I'm not going to say they're unlimited, and I'm not here to give you tax advice, but it's absolutely amazing. You will get such a large pay raise by the tax exempt things that you can actually run through your business. You're missing out if you're not wholesaling. So guys, I can go on and on. I thought of so many things, but I really just highlighted the pros and the cons. If you missed the first part of the video, go back to it. I go over the cons. I end it with the pros because I like to end it on a positive note. But you guys have to take these columns, and what I beg you to do is take the pros and cons I've given to you, and then you write your own list. And I love doing a pro cons list, and then you make your decisions based off what's most important to you and your family. I hope wholesaling is a great fit for you, but I want you to know both sides of the equation before you get into it. Do me a favor. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the absolute best information available on wholesaling today. I'll see you guys in the next video.